Hey everybody, Brian Zach here. I've got another video for you. Been working on all kinds of different projects, different songs for different clients. People have been asking me to play on their songs. This is the Quarantine Sessions. I should make this into a series maybe, the Quarantine Sessions series. There we go, episode 1. Today's song is When the World is Running Down by the Police. I got asked to record this song by Bad Brad, a wonderful guitarist here in Nashville. When the World is Running Down. Some of you may know this song. If you're a Police fan, I'm sure you know this song. I'm a Police fan. I love this song. I knew it right away. So what did I do to prepare for this song? I listened to it. I started with that. And right away I noticed a couple of things. You know, I'm a pretty big Stewart Copeland fan, so I'd like to think that my Stewart Copeland impression is fairly decent, although it's not something I get asked to do too often, so it's something that, it's a skill that needs brushing up, you know, from time to time. And so that's what I did. I listened to the song, like I said, listened to some different things, some live recordings, one in particular that Brad had sent to me that he was basing this arrangement off of on his version of the song. And so, you know, there's some things that I wanted to do to honor Stewart's sound and feel from the original recording, as well as from the live recording, and just some of the energy things. Let's see, gear-wise, couple of things, couple of choices I made. Splash cymbals, number one. Stewart Copeland always had splash cymbals, as far as I know, and especially the little tiny ones that just go and they're gone, you know. And so in this particular video, I'm using a 10-inch splash cymbal and an 8-inch splash cymbal that's cracked. So it really, the 8-inch especially, just goes and it's gone. So that was the first thing I set up. The second thing, sound-wise, snare drum. For this recording, I used a chrome over brass, a brass snare drum. I think that's what Stewart probably used on a lot of his songs and a lot of his recordings. So with a die-cast rim, and that's part of how he gets that pop sound. It's the drum is cranked way up high. So the drum that I used for this is a Ludwig Black Magic snare drum, chrome over brass, nickel over brass. I think it's black. Yeah, it's like a nickel over brass, kind of like a Black Beauty kind of wannabe. It's like a cousin of the Black Beauty. 5-inch by 14. Like I said, die-cast rims, cranked way up. Snares tight. Speaking of snares, I have my particular drum outfitted with the Canopus vintage snare wires. Best snare wires on the market that money can buy. So, ringing endorsement there. Let's see, so that's the snare sound. Kick. Upon listening to the original recording, I noticed right away that the sound of the kick, it sounds to me like there's no front head on the bass drum. So I took off the front head of the bass drum. I'm using a 22 by 16 recording custom, Yamaha recording custom from the 80s. And I took out the front head. I packed it full of pillows and weighted it down so the pillows wouldn't move. And there's an Audix D6 microphone right inside of the drum, kind of 45 degrees slant from where the beater strikes the head, and then on the outside, just outside of where the front head would typically go, I have another mic for more of the bass frequencies, sub-frequencies. That's a large diaphragm condenser. It's made by Kel, K-E-L, the guy that made those, I don't think he makes them anymore. He's a Canadian guy, but great microphone. So that really dialed in that sound, is the open front bass drum head stuffed with the pillows, and gave me that sort of attack sound, that nice, using a felt beater on the bass drum. Let's see, what else? Crash cymbals. I wanted to go with crash cymbals that were not too large, because I don't think Stuart used big crash cymbals like 19s or 20s or 21s or 22s or anything like that. His crash cymbals were always pretty high pitched, and they were smaller in diameter, and they would go bang and then they'd be gone. Let's see, in this video I'm using what am I using? A 17-inch crash on my left side, and on my right side a 16-inch Alchemy crash, medium crash. The 17 is an Istanbul Agop Exist crash, which is a nice, it's not super heavy, but it's just got a nice bright, you know, and then it's gone kind of thing. Pretty clean, not a ton of overtones or anything like that, so great, perfect for this kind of thing. Hi-hats. Okay, so that's another thing. Stuart is a master of the hi-hat, you know, hi-hat, playing the hi-hat. I'm not affiliated with this cymbal company. So, but I had these cymbals from many years ago, and they work sometimes in the studio for certain things. What I did was I turned them upside down, because typically the bottom cymbal is quite heavier than the top cymbal, and I wanted that real articulate, heavy stick sound for this track. So I turned them upside down, and they're 13-inch. They're called fusion hats. There, I gave it away. Ride cymbal. Again, I'm not affiliated with this cymbal company, so I'm not going to say the name, but it's this ride cymbal that I'm using for this particular song. I've had this ride cymbal since I was like 10 years old, 13, maybe it's like 12 years old. And it's a 20-inch, very heavy cymbal, very articulate, very dry, great bell, just can't miss it. It's huge, and just like, it's a great rock cymbal. And especially, you know, you'll see me when I'm hitting the bell of the cymbal with the snare drum, like Stuart sometimes did. So I kind of did that in tribute to Stuart. Like, ding, 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 ding. So I went with that cymbal also. And just kind of a little bit of nostalgia there for me, because that cymbal is, you know, it's been with me since I was a kid. Stuart Copeland was famous for using octobans on his drum kit. And since I don't have any octobans, what I did was I took my 8-inch tom that I have from my Yamaha recording custom kit and cranked up the head, both heads, top and bottom, a lot, and just choked the hell out of it, and then kept the mic on it, and then just used it like it would be an octoban, or like just a super high tom sound, kind of like a kind of thing, like almost like a muted like tone, but it wasn't muted at all. It was wide open, but it's because it's such a small drum and it's cranked up so high, it mutes itself, so it doesn't really ring out too much. So that's what you'll see on the video. That's what I go to for that sort of alternative sound. And then I'm just using my regular Camco toms, 13 and 16, in the standard 1 up, 1 down configuration. Let's talk about the playing. First of all, to get the right sound that Stuart Copeland got, Stuart hit hard. You're gonna have to hit hard to get that tone. It's just, he slammed that backbeat, man. It's like, I mean, I don't know if you're aware, he used to like tape his left hand. He played traditional grip like I do. I should say, I played traditional grip like he did. Man, he must have like hit that drum so hard in those live shows. Okay, we got a brownout. That was fun. Hopefully that won't happen again. as I was saying, Stuart would play really loud, and so to get that pop and snare sound, you gotta hit the drum hard. It's just part of his sound. Same with the kick. He's hitting that kick hard. Ooh, ga, ooh, ga, ooh, ga. Couple of signature sort of things that he would play. Ga, you know. You call them four-stroke roughs, four-stroke rolls, right, left, especially with the accent on the last note. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da, with the hands. He would do that on the snare drum a lot. He would do that on the tom a lot. Of course, we talked about splash cymbals and just kind of make little accents here and there throughout the song. Something else he would do is just 2/16 on the snare. You know, he would just have this nice tight 2/16 on the snare. So that's another thing. We talked about the bell of the cymbal. He used the bell of the cymbal quite prominently. So I tried to throw that in there a bit, as well as, you know, some well-placed crash cymbal hits and that kind of thing. One last thing that I should definitely make mention of is Stuart Copeland's time feel. Where does he put the backbeat? You might guess. It's on the front of the beat. It's on the, he's driving it forward. It's always on the front. I mean, oftentimes, if you listen back, Stuart Copeland would actually rush on many occasions. Like just flat out, like the tempo would be off to the races. And that's just, you know, part of Stuart's playing. I mean, he just gets so excited, he can't help himself. At least that's what I think anyway. But I can say that I know that Stuart's playing has definitely a very edge of your seat kind of feel. It's definitely on the front end of the beat. I tried to capture that feel as well here on this song. I think one last thing I could talk about is I added a reverb to the drum sound. And I felt like, you know, I listened to the original recording, and there's definitely quite a bit of reverb on the drums on the original, and I tried to match up the reverb as best I could, as quickly as I could. I didn't spend like a lot of time with it, but I just found a reverb that seemed to work and seemed to be somewhat similar, and so that was the last sort of icing on the cake, if you will, towards getting the sound that Stuart got on the original recording of this song. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy the performance. Enjoy. Don't enjoy. You don't have to enjoy it. I don't care if you enjoy it. Just watch it. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Really, from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you enjoy the music that we make here in the quarantine sessions, and been working quite a lot here, pretty hard, given the circumstances. You know, there's no live work, so just doubling down on all the studio work. So keep working on your craft, make art, create stuff, okay? Don't just consume. All right, that's for like another message, another video. When the World is Running Down. Originally by The Police. This one is by Bad Brad and myself. And hope to see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for tuning in.